You are listening to Offensive Lines with Marlon and Boyd. Small stakes NFL gambling for the average fan.
Welcome to Offensive Lines. I'm Marlon.
I'm Boyd.
And this will be our pick show. We're going to be going fast tonight because a snowstorm in Calgary seems to have fucked up all technology once again.
No, just voice quality. I don't know what we're going to find to use. There's got to be something out there where we can link up directly and cut out the fucking middle person.
And at this
There's
point,
got to be something.
At this point, I'm ready to pay for it.
Yeah.
This is getting frustrating and it's wasting our time.
Yep, so let's get at her.
Okay, so that said, we know what time it is.
It's motherfucking game time!
That's right. It's motherfucking game time. I'm ready to go.
Let's go. Let's get angry. Let's fucking win something this week.
I'm already pissed off. And I actually had a good day today, so...
See, I didn't, so let me talk about that for 5 minutes, and then I'll get pissed off again.
Yeah, well, you can bring it back. Dig deep down into the liver and find that bile. All right.
That's the only thing on me that's functioning properly.
All right, the Thursday night game. Tampa Bay is +3 at St. Louis. We don't bet Thursday games.
We don't watch Thursday games.
I did last week.
Yeah,
First
I know,
of the year. First of the year. But all said, I still like Tampa in this game, and I take the home team 80-90% of the time.
I'm taking St. Louis based totally on the home team. Even though they're shitty 1 week, good, somewhat good the next. It's like win, lose, win 1, lose 2, win 1, lose 2. So I should be going against them, but Tampa Bay couldn't beat New Orleans after they put up 45 against them.
I think New Orleans is a little better than you think, and I think Tampa Bay's run defense is actually solid enough to slow down Gurley, and without Gurley, they've got nothing. We talked about how their new offensive coordinator was Jeff Fisher's old offensive coordinator. So, yeah, I'm taking the road team on a rare occasion.
No, I'm playing the percentages. Give me the Rams.
Okay. Yeah, I can't make an argument. Next up, we have the New York Jets -3 at Dallas. I don't hate this game with the Jets.
No, me either. That defensive line against the Titans was fucking unreal. They have good pass defense. I don't even think Reeves played last week again.
No, he didn't.
So, and they were still solid with that pass rush against Dallas. Tennessee couldn't run the ball. They had no time to throw the ball. And Dallas can't score anyway against anybody.
They haven't scored more than 20 without Romo all year.
Yeah, I don't mind this game either. I hate the price, but...
Yeah, I imagine this is being bet pretty heavily on the Jets, and we like to fade the public when we can, but this one's definitely going to be in the mix.
Yeah. No, Fitzpatrick looked good against the Titans. Yeah, if they play anywhere close to the way they did against the Titans, they'll blow Dallas out.
So do you think Imana Kapuli, I believe I have his name right there, shockingly, is the MVP for the Jets by knocking the fuck out of Geno Smith?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. What's his face? Who's their Todd Bowles? Wants Fitzpatrick back next year. So the Geno Smith era is over in New York before it ever really started. But do you think Geno Smith would have won the job in camp anyway? I don't. Or through the preseason, I don't think he wins it.
But that fits into your argument. Fitzpatrick isn't going to take you anywhere, so you've got to play Geno Smith to find out what you have. So yes, I think he would have been the starter through week 6 until they realized he was a walking disaster. So yes, I do think he would have won the job out of camp. Solely for that reason. It's your Manziel argument.
Right. Yeah, you're probably right. But
Well, when I give your own argument back to you, you should agree.
no, but how would you like to be Geno Smith sitting in New Jersey thinking, I gave up my starting job over $600 plane ticket, even though he continues to say he didn't owe him any money? Well, you don't get punched in the jaw for nothing. So if it wasn't money, what was it? Chick?
Yeah, usually borderline defensive players don't punch out the starting quarterback without a pretty compelling reason.
Yeah. So it's either you question his manhood, a chick, or money. There's three things that, and most of those guys that make it to the NFL have been alpha males at some point in their group. You don't get there without being an alpha. That's why there's so many fucking tirades and shit on the sideline. And people bitching about playing time because you've been the alpha dog somewhere, or you don't get to that level. So something happened. If I don't even know how to pronounce the name you just pronounced, so I won't try.
I won't even try again. I got it once. It was kind of like a fluke.
So, but if he's saying it was about money, who are you going to believe? The guy that's owed money or the guy that says he doesn't owe money? I'll take the guy's word that says he was owed money and he broke Geno Smith's jaw, and Geno Smith lost his career over $600 plane ticket.
To a very good career backup. And let's not be unrealistic. That's all Fitzpatrick is.
Yeah. And he's having a good year. He had a decent year in Tennessee.
Yeah. And Geno Smith could have been thrown to Brandon Marshall and Eric Decker.
Which would have helped him a lot.
Yep. Versus what he had last year, which was Decker and nothing. All right. Moving on, we have Atlanta +3 at Jacksonville.
I like this one too.
I don't. I want nothing to do with this because Jacksonville is not very good either. They've got nobody who can stop Julio. No, I really don't like
Marlon. They've put up 100 points in 2 weeks.
What did we talk about in our recap show? Let's
stop
even looking at two terrible teams.
But
the Jets are at least
terrible.
Jacksonville is.
They've got Hearns back.
Okay, here are their last games.
Robinson. Hello?
Got it here. Yeah, no, I'm just looking them up.
No, I was just worried we were getting disconnected or something again.
No,
because you said here's their last games and then went and saw it.
Dead silence. Yeah, I understand your hesitation here.
We've had so many audio problems lately. It's freaked me out.
Jacksonville went 19-13 versus Tennessee. They lost to the goddamn Chargers 31-25. They got into a shootout with Tennessee, who, we're talking about our two teams in here, neither of which are any good. And then they beat Indy, who we both think is terrible.
Yeah, but Atlanta's worse than Tennessee and San Diego right now.
Yeah, this is the two shitty teams argument, Boyd. Like, if you really want it in the mix, we can talk about it, but this is what we said we would start to avoid after our Niners Cleveland fiasco last week.
Yeah, but if we enact that rule for good, we won't be betting any games.
Well,
no good team.
The Jets are better than either of these, so I'll mark it. But no, I am not comfortable taking Jacksonville.
Well, when we go through the rest of these games, they're all shit.
Yeah,
and the
we'll
other ones
see, but
the spreads are ridiculous.
I'm just saying, something we said on our recap show that we'd stop doing is getting involved in games between two shitty teams. Jacksonville is 5-8, and they beat Baltimore by 2. They lost I don't think they're necessarily good.
Yeah, but with Atlanta's defense, I don't know how they're stopping Robinson and Hearns.
I don't know how Jacksonville's defense. I mean, goddamn, they gave up
Yeah,
a
but that's
50
all
bird to Tennessee.
But that's all they have is Julio Jones.
Yeah, and who does Tennessee have?
Delaney Walker.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I take Julio over Delaney. And Jacksonville gave up 50 to them. I'm just saying.
Yeah, Atlanta's lost 7 in a row, though. And the coach got the dreaded vote of confidence this week. I'm just saying.
Yeah, okay. Like, I'll put it in the mix if you want.
Ourselves after this.
This is the 2 shitty team. This is a coin flip.
Yeah, well, we get through the rest of these games. There's not much else.
that comes later.
Teams,
that comes later.
Or 15-point spreads with good teams.
We'll get to that. Well, hey, you wanted good teams. That's what you get. All right, next up, we have Buffalo -1 at Washington.
No,
I really like Washington here, though. Buffalo's a steaming pile of shit.
Washington. Yeah, but so is Washington.
No,
This falls no further out of our rule of 2 shitty teams.
Oh no, I don't want to bet it. I don't want to bet it. I just want to state strongly that I really like Washington here. Buffalo, Rex Ryan. I brought this up about 10 weeks ago. Do we know that Rex Ryan is a good coach? Now we know. He's a fucking awful coach.
Yeah.
He's terrible on every level. He came in with the best defensive personnel in Buffalo that he's ever had, and he's managed to make them regress wildly. He's a buffoon like his father and his brother. He's just a fucking charming fat fuck. Go to hell, Rex Ryan.
His dad actually got results in some places. The Ryan brothers haven't.
Well, when he was defensive coordinator of Baltimore, he did. So, but as head coaches, he's a terrible coach. And as much as he charmed us on Hard Knocks, as much as he is charming and entertaining, in his words, the only guy who had a sex scandal with his own wife, I do admire that. That's impressive. But he's an idiot. He's destroying defensive players. Tyrod Taylor, which you said was a nothing, and we're correct. I'm taking Washington. Kirk Cousins is better than Tyrod Taylor. The team is mutinying on Rex. And all his bluster, all his bravado leads him to nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't disagree with anything you said. But I can't. I don't know how Buffalo's favored here with what they've done recently and what Washington has done offensively lately. We have Sammy Watkins and 3 running backs who are pissed off they're not getting the ball enough.
And who are out of control. There's no direction in here. There may be talent. In fact, I do think there's a lot of talent on that Buffalo team. But McCoy had a fucking hissy fit like a high school girl at the end of that Philly game.
Yeah. So, like Buffalo, like you were saying, Buffalo, they have talent. Like, we thought Charles Clay going there would help. Percy Harvin hasn't played in what? Has he been playing?
Yeah.
Haven't heard his name. Haven't heard Charles Clay getting the ball. Haven't heard fuck all. Carlos Williams was their best running back, and he's hurt. So, yeah, I'm taking Washington too. We put this in the mix, I guess.
I wasn't even really advocating that. I'm just...
No, but you made good points. And it's plus 100 on the money line. I honestly don't see a lot here.
Washington is plus 100 even. All right.
on the money line.
And that's not a bad price.
No. For the home underdog?
Yeah. And a team that's 5-2 at home this year.
And how is Buffalo favored? They lost to Philly.
Yeah. Philly in a revenge game, and they looked clueless. The defense is excelling at nothing but taking penalties. And this was a top 10 defense last year. The talent's
top 5.
there.
Top 5.
Yeah, I believe they were in the number 4. You're correct.
So
I just think Rex Ryan's an entertaining buffoon, and I would love to hang out and drink beer with him, but I don't want him coaching my football team.
No.
All right, next up, we have Carolina, -5 of the New York Giants. This screams stay away to me.
Me too. It's right in that zone.
And
the Giants, they play up to their competition or down, whatever the case may be. They play to the level of their competition
and
all the time.
And they love their reputation as Kingslayers.
Yeah.
Who ends the undefeated season? Carolina looked a little too full of themselves after that Atlanta win.
Well, and they're starting to, like Josh Norman's like, if you don't like what we're doing, stop us.
Jonathan Stewart isn't playing.
They still have no receivers, except Greg Olsen. How healthy is he?
Well, yeah, and he's been hitting... Ted Ginn's got 4 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks on those long bombs. He's always had speed, but as I said about 4 podcasts before, when it's going to him wide open, it's just a coin flip as to whether he'll catch it.
Yeah, and he caught him last week, but will he catch him this week is the question. No, I don't want to bet this game.
And I think Rivera has tipped his hand with just benching Stewart with the foot injury. I don't know that he's that injured. I think Rivera's being a little bit smart here.
Oh, yeah, if they needed this win to get in the playoffs, he'd be in. Or to keep them in the playoff hunt, he'd be playing.
Yeah.
Who's their I don't even know who their backup running back is.
No, I can't even recall. I didn't even handcuff him, and I owned Stewart. And I don't think people realize how important Stewart's steady carries are to their success.
That sounded bad.
What did I say?
It sounded like we're in the 1860s. I didn't even handcuff him, and I owned Stewart.
Okay, now I see it. I didn't hear that when I said it.
That line could be taken out of context. You could just take that clip and put it on the internet. Podcast host says he owns Stewart, didn't handcuff him.
Luckily, fantasy football would give me an out there, but I could see where ripped completely out of context, that would be a terrible line. But he is really important to that team.
Yeah.
Those 3.5 to 4.3 yards per carry is what's opening up Newton to be showing off right now.
Yeah.
I'm grabbing the dog here, and I'm taking the Giants.
I can't. 13-0, I can't. I'm taking Carolina.
All right.
This to me is like another statement game for them. Just like Dallas was.
They posed for a team photo when they were up on Atlanta.
I know. But I'm just... this is another statement game. Like the Dallas one was on national TV. This is the game of the morning to watch. They'll be ready. They can say all they want about, we don't care about undefeated season and all that shit. They do.
You've been murdering me on Carolina picks, so listeners, you probably want to go with Boyd on this one.
Well, how can you bet against 13-0? If this was New England and they were 13-0 playing this game, it'd be 7 or 8.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. I like the Giants here, and that's the reason. Like, If I liked Carolina here, I'd be advocating betting it, but I don't like this situation for Carolina.
No, it's right. It's right in that zone where Vegas always wins.
Yeah.
I don't want to copy Simmons and Sal and say Vegas zone, but it's in that range where Vegas likes it. So, and where they make all their money.
Yeah, they make their vig, and that's exactly what they really want to do is make that 10 points.
Yeah.
Take
away all the risk.
Yeah, they don't want to have a side in a game.
No.
All right, next up, we have Chicago plus 5.5 at Minnesota.
No thanks.
Yeah, another stay away.
I don't trust the Vikings anymore. I did 3 weeks ago. I don't anymore. They beat the Bears by 3 in Chicago. Got spanked by Green Bay, lost to Arizona.
And they barely beat the Bears, by the way.
Yeah, it was a fluke. We won money on that game.
Yes.
And then lost on the Green Bay game where they shit the bed at home. Adrian Peterson, I don't know if age is creeping in. He didn't have a good game last week. He had 60 yards on 20 carries.
Yeah, 26 carries. It was under 3. But Arizona is among the cream of the crop.
Yes, but if that's your bread and butter, 20 carries for him should equal more than 60 yards. I don't care who he's playing against. And he had a shit game against Seattle. So he's put up numbers against shitty teams. And Chicago played him tough the last time. I'm taking the Bears.
It's so hard to take the Bears after their disaster.
Well, Washington beat them by 3. So that's been the Bears' games all year.
5.5 is way too much for Minnesota to lay on anyone. No, you just totally swayed me there. You win. Minnesota should not be favored by 5.5 over anyone anywhere.
At 3, I would take Minnesota. It should just be the home field advantage, 3 points. They covered in Chicago, but it took fluke completion to set up the winning field goal and a touchdown with under 2 minutes left to get him in the position to kick the game-winning field goal. And Bridgewater isn't a franchise quarterback.
No, he looked good against Arizona.
Yeah, but he's up and down too.
I'm starting to think Norv Turner is more the problem than Bridgewater.
Nah, Bridgewater's not that good.
Yeah, but Norv Turner loves to go deep. Bridgewater has a weak arm.
Well, no, I've said it all year. He throws from the armpit.
Yeah.
I saw it the first game of the season. It was the first game I really watched when they played San Francisco of him. And every game after this year, that's all I see. Everything's from fucking armpit. I don't even know how he throws it.
And where did Norv Turner have actual success? It was with Rivers and it was with Aikman.
Yeah.
Guys who could take it deep on the 7-step drop, and Minnesota has more 7-step drops than any team in the league, and he's not built for that. He could be a really effective dink and dunk quarterback. He's got the
West
accuracy.
Coast offense.
Yeah.
West Coast offense.
But I'm starting to think
And
Norv Turner is the problem. Well, and they don't have a tight end, which was always, again, when Norv Turner had success, he always had great tight ends.
Yeah.
It's you take your look deep and then you throw it to your tight end. It's Norv Turner in a fucking nutshell.
Yep.
All right, you convinced me very eloquently to go with Chicago on that as well. Next up, the game is off the board. It is Houston at Indy. No one has a clue who's playing quarterback in Indy.
Charlie Whitehurst.
Now we are playing Guess the Line.
Pick 'em.
I'm going Indy -3, just the typical home field. And you're going pick?
Yeah. Unless they somehow announce that Andrew Luck is starting, then I'll agree it's 3.
I
But there was
believe they
something-
ruled Luck out today officially.
Because there was word, I saw something online that said a report said he was at practicing today.
I believe there may have been a later report that he will not play.
Okay, then it's a pick'em. Because Hasselbeck's not playing.
Well, Hasselbeck hasn't been ruled out yet.
It's going to be Charlie Whitehurst, and it's going to be a pick'em. And
All
it's going to
right.
be one of the ugliest games to watch, because it's going to be TJ Yates against Charlie Whitehurst for the division.
And a one-armed JJ Watt.
Yeah.
Ah.
So, well, after this weekend, could have a three-way tie at the top of the South at 6 and 8. Because Jacksonville is going to win, and it's going to be 3. Well, no, I guess one of those teams going to 7 and 7. Somebody's got to win, but Jacksonville will be a game back with 2 to play. The only thing saving the Colts is they got Tennessee at the end of the year. And we'll be playing for the first. We're in line for the first overall pick right now, you know.
Yeah. Again, fighting with my Chargers.
Yeah.
All right. So who are you taking in this game?
Houston.
Yeah, me too.
I think their defense is a little better. And Whitehurst, although he's a capable backup, he's been there, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? And he's okay, but he's not. He's good for a quarter if you need him.
The Colts don't have much, by the way. Like,
No.
at any level. Which of those receivers do you really trust? What tight end? The O-line's terrible. The defense is better than I thought they were, but they're still not good.
Well, not after giving up 51 to Jacksonville at home.
Yeah, I suppose there's the bounce back potential there, but this is a game where if we could just not pick any game, I would choose this one. No idea.
Yeah,
Flip a
I'll
coin.
take Houston. I'll take Houston.
All right. Next
Who'd
up,
you take?
I took Houston as well.
Okay.
Next game up, we have KC -7 at Baltimore.
Okay. If KC has anything, they should cover this easily.
Yeah,
Who's Baltimore starting at quarterback? Ryan Mallett?
I like it too, but I've been a
I
naysayer a bit on KC, taking both Oakland and San Diego the last 2 weeks. That offense stinks.
I know, but I can't take Baltimore. They're
KC
not
on the road.
close.
Like, okay, let's look at this realistically. KC is essentially being favored by 10.
Yes,
They
but Baltimore could be starting Ryan Mallett. Their starting running back is out for the year. They have no wideouts, no tight end. Their defense has been brutal. I don't know how they stay within 7.
but they scored a whopping 10 against
I know, but that was
the
in a
fabled San
torrential
Diego's
downpour.
defense.
That was in a torrential downpour. So I'll cut them a little slack.
Well, I believe there are race riots once again in Baltimore, starting right now. So who knows? This could be in an empty stadium like baseball.
Are you serious?
Yeah, there was a hung jury.
Okay. So that being said, I'm still taking Kansas City.
Yeah, and do you want to have it in the mix? I mean, this is where I was getting. I am totally on KC with you. Do you want it in the mix?
Well, let's put it in the mix. We'll see where we're at when we get to the end, because there's not a whole hell of a lot. And 7 against what are the Ravens? 3-10.
Oh, and they're a disaster, and I've said they were a disaster before the season started.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm uncomfortable with it because I think KC struggles to score 14.
Not against that defense.
What? San Diego's defense is... Oh, you brought up the rain, I guess, but...
But San Diego's defense the last couple of weeks has played this. He only gave up 17 to the Broncos and 10 to the Chiefs. Yeah, so I will give the Chargers a little more credit than the Ravens defense, who's been giving up points to everybody. Cleveland put up 27 against them. So I have more faith in Kansas City's offense than I do in Baltimore's defense.
And I do like Kansas City's defense a lot.
Yeah, and if they're starting Mallet or Shaw, does it matter with Kansas City's defense? If Phillip Rivers put up 3 points, what are they going to put up?
Oh, yeah, that's very true. Rivers is a lot better
than Mallet or Schaub.
Yeah, okay, it's in the mix. Next up, we can't bet it.
But
Tennessee,
if we could,
I would so be on New England.
Yeah, we don't have a hope.
New England has murdered poor opponents by an average margin of victory of 28. And Tennessee's moving in the right direction, but they're still a poor opponent.
No, our offensive line's terrible. We have no wideouts to speak of.
If you can pressure Brady, which I think you can.
We could, but it's not. No, they'll just swing it out to White.
Is
and we have
nobody's
covered. No, he's out for the year.
Okay.
We have nobody to cover Gronkowski. We couldn't stop Ryan Fitzpatrick last week on the road. Do you think we couldn't stop Blake Bortles? Couldn't stop Fitzpatrick. And the pass defense was our strength, and we couldn't stop those two. So how are we stopping Brady to Gronkowski? It's going to be ugly. This could be shades of the 51-0 game from several years ago.
Well, I remember that.
Yeah, that was part of our bet.
Yeah. Which
then
we
Tennessee
tied
won
on.
6
typically.
out of their last 8 after that. But no, Tennessee, this is going to be ugly. I'll probably be watching whatever game we bet on early, or Carolina Giants more than Tennessee New England, unless Tennessee somehow keeps it close for a quarter or two.
I want to see you beat the hell out of Brady, and I think that that's part of what you're going to try to do, but he gets the ball out so fast. Your
But
rush
Denver
is
didn't
good,
really
but
beat
it's
the hell out of them, did they?
No, I don't.
They have a better defense than Denver. No, we didn't get pressure on Fitzpatrick. He lit us up. So, and Bortles lit us up. So, yeah,
Yeah, I'm New England on this all the way. I don't think it's going to be pleasant for you.
Which is fine. At 3-10, I'm happy to take the first pick in the draft.
All right. Next up, we have another huge spread. Cleveland plus 14.5 at Seattle. I don't want to touch it.
No, everything here says we should bet this game. For Seattle.
Oh, no.
No, but it does. It screams to do that. They blew out Minnesota, blew out Baltimore. This team is just as bad. Cleveland is just as bad as both of them. What's Manziel going to do against that defense the way it's been playing and the way Russell Wilson's been playing? The only question mark here is running back for Seattle.
Very much so.
Right now.
Seattle's resurgence really coincided with the emergence of Rawls, who was
but against
more
Cleveland,
reliable running threat than...
No, but that's okay. If they were playing Minnesota or somebody, I'd agree. Like, if that was the game coming up, I'd tend to agree. But this is a 3-10 Browns team.
Oh, yeah. But
I'm not saying we're betting on it, but everything points to we should bet on this. If history tells us anything, they're going to fucking murder Cleveland, just like they shut down San Francisco. They've shut down Minnesota. They shut down Baltimore. Like, Manziel's going to do anything against that defense now? He's essentially a rookie quarterback going into Seattle. He's not going to pull a Roethlisberger and put up 30 points.
They beat the Niners by 16. They beat Pittsburgh by 9, which is impressive. They killed Minnesota by 31, and they killed Baltimore by 29.
That's what I'm saying.
But,
everything
okay,
points to us
let me
betting
just say
this,
one
I
other
don't
thing.
want to.
Let me just say one other thing. In those games I just named, Thomas Rawls, 209. Thomas Rawls, 81. Thomas Rawls, 101. And then 44 before he left the Baltimore game with the injury.
Yeah, and they still put up 30. I'm taking Seattle. I'm not advocating we bet it, but everything points to we should.
Yeah, no,
Everything
I don't want to bet
points
this.
to we should, but I'm not. There's too many points. Even though they'll probably win by 30, and we'll be like, "Oh, that should have been in the game we bet on."
I know this sounds strange to say, but Cleveland's better than Baltimore.
Not much.
And I don't know. Without that threat of the rushing attack, I'm not certain I trust Seattle for 15 points.
Them beating San Francisco doesn't really change my opinion of Cleveland. They're a rudderless franchise that's going nowhere. When they should have lost, they win. Like, I agree with what Simmons said. What are you doing? Bench Manziel till you get the first overall pick clinched and then play him. Who gives a fuck at this point? He's not going to be there next year anyway. They're not keeping him.
They don't have to make a decision this year.
Yeah, they do. Why? No. How can you have any respect as a franchise when he fucks up and goes partying again, lies about it? No, but of anybody.
No,
like, you're never going to draw free agents. No, but when the coach comes out and says, "Oh, next time he fucks up, it's going to be serious," well, he's fucked up about a half a dozen times that we know of, and there's been no consequence for him.
No, they're going to fire the coach. They're going to keep Ray Farmer somehow because he's the only black friend the owner has, and somehow they're just going to muddle along.
Yeah, but at some point, you got to blow everything up. You can't keep Manziel around. He's bad news around the locker room. He's not a good influence on anybody coming in. You're never going to attract free agents. Keep doing that shit. If you screw up again, there's got to be some accountability.
Where's the accountability in the organization right now?
That's what I'm saying. At some point, it's got to change.
So Manziel becomes the lightning rod for accountability?
Well, that's what they're going to put it
Farmer.
On. What's a better excuse? What's a better excuse? Get rid of Manziel. It'll come out. He was a cancer. He was a problem in the locker room. We couldn't trust him. He didn't show up to meetings. They're not going to put that out there now. They might even try and trade him before those stories start to come out from the Browns themselves. But once he's gone,
Jerry
those
Jones.
Those stories will come out. So,
yeah, but the team, when he was benched, laid down, and they actually played hard last week. I'm not certain the team isn't behind Johnny Manziel a bit.
You're never behind a drunk at quarterback. I'm sorry.
New York Jets.
What's that, 40 years ago?
Yeah. Brett Favre a little.
Yeah, but, okay, Brett Favre had talent?
Oh, damn you and your facts. All right.
Yeah, don't compare Manziel to Brett Favre. Manziel's a privileged...
No.
Brett Favre...
Or even Namath, who we both think is wildly overrated. But
well, he was.
Point taken.
Yeah, Manziel is a drunk with limited ability. Brett Favre was just addicted to painkillers and still fucking won. So
Manziel reminds me of Flutie with an alcohol problem.
Pretty much.
Right. Next up, we have Green Bay -3 to Oakland. I don't mind this as our underdog pick.
You
hate it.
I don't love it. I don't love it. I thought about it, but Oakland's been up and down the last 6 weeks.
Oakland had KC on the ropes.
Yeah, but beating Brock Osweiler is different.
Oh, they would have beaten
Aaron
KC.
Rodgers.
It was one bad pick, and that's fine. That happens to the best of them. And then it was 2 fluky picks. We were about to lose that KC game.
That's fine, but
I still don't
Aaron
believe in
Rodgers,
Green Bay. I don't believe in Eddie Lacy. I don't believe in anything about this Green Bay team.
But I can't see them completely shutting down the Packers like they did Denver. Aaron Rodgers isn't Brock Osweiler. That's the only reason I'm against it. I just don't think they can win a shootout with Green Bay, and I don't think they can they're not good enough yet. Khalil Mack is good, but Rodgers is different than Osweiler. They're not going to get 5 sacks, or he's not going to get 5 sacks against Rodgers. And if Green Bay gets in the red zone or in field goal range, they're not going to come away with 4 field goals.
The Cowboys were down 14-7 at the start of the 4th. And you were the guy who's been saying there's something really, really fucking wrong in Green Bay.
No, if it was Marlon, if this was 6, I'd be with you. I just don't like the 3. Especially the way Oakland's offense has been. They didn't light it up last week or any time recently. 3 picks against Kansas City, and you can call 2 fluky, but it's still got to be in close coverage if they're tip balls or whatnot, or drop balls or whatever. Amari Cooper didn't have a reception last week.
Well, they just put up, you can call it fluky, you can call it whatever, but they just dropped 15 points in the second half against the best defense in football.
Yeah, but that's 15 points in 4 quarters.
Do you think Green Bay's defense is it all good?
No, but
they
either
gave
is
up
Oakland.
23 to Detroit. They lost to Chicago, 17-13. Green Bay's scoring is 16, 30, 13, 27 on a Hail Mary at the end, and then 28, of which 7 of those were the same as the backdoor cover.
No,
they were
I know.
nothing. I mean,
everything you're saying is correct. I just, if you want to go back to the Pittsburgh thing last week, just my gut says Oakland shits the bed. Every time we think they've turned a corner, we get kicked in the bag.
Well, we cashed 3 on them and we lost 2. I mean, Oakland hasn't been the worst team for us.
No, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Every time we think, oh yeah, it's safe to bet on Oakland, they shit the bed.
Oh, I don't know that it's safe. I mean, gambling is never safe.
But you know what I'm saying. Where we were confident in Oakland because they'd been playing well and we thought they'd made improvements, and then they shit the bed in winnable games. If they've turned a corner, those are winnable games. Chicago.
Aaron Rodgers has threw for 218 yards versus Dallas. It's not fixed there, man. And I'm just saying what you've said quite properly for the last 3 podcasts.
Oh, I know. They're frauds, but they're 10-4 frauds. They're not going to win anything, but I think they beat Oakland.
Okay.
That's it. I don't think they have any shot at doing anything in the playoffs, but Oakland's not a playoff team yet. They might be next year, but they're not ready. Every time in a big spot where they could make a statement and say, we've arrived, they stink. They got beat by Minnesota badly. Wasn't as bad as the score looked, but in the second half, they did absolutely nothing in the Minnesota game. Nothing.
I know what you got in your mind for the underdog pick then. All right.
Well, we've already got an underdog pick.
I'm going to... Pardon?
We've already got an underdog pick if we need one. We got Washington. I'm not against taking another underdog, but we've got one.
All right. Well, I am taking Oakland here.
Okay, I'm taking Green Bay, obviously.
All right.
Just got a gut feeling that Oakland... Del Rio's an okay coach. He's not a great coach.
No.
He was in Jacksonville for a fucking decade, and they did absolutely sweet fuck all. I'll give him credit for making a difference.
He's Rex Ryan without the PR. I get that. He's a good defensive coordinator for the most part.
And they've got some talent. But it's just every time it was the point to say, here we are, we can compete with good teams. They don't.
I just find it interesting because you've been the biggest naysayer on Green Bay.
I know, but
that's fair enough.
It's Oakland, and maybe they're in my head because the two times we bet on them in big spots where they could make that statement, they haven't. This is another one of those games to me. This is where you could say, okay, here we are. Watch out for us next year. And when they lost to Chicago and Minnesota, they were still in the hunt for the playoffs. And they shit the bed. So how is this big spot going to be any different? I just can't see it. They beat the teams they should beat. They beat the teams they should beat that are below them. But anybody that's above them where they could make a step, they don't.
So they're the Minnesota of the AFC, is your argument. Fair enough. I'm not changing from Oakland here, but points well taken.
I wasn't trying to change your mind. I'm just giving my reasoning for not wanting to bet it.
Oh no, and it was a good argument.
I would love to be wrong. I'm going to be cheering for Oakland because I like Derek Carr. I like how they move the ball around. It's just this year they haven't stepped up when they needed to. So
that's a fair argument. All right, next game up, we have Cincy minus 4.5 at San Francisco.
No.
Nope.
AJ McCarron on the road. He had one completion that made the highlights to AJ Green, and basically nothing else. So,
and San Fran plays pretty well at home.
Yep.
I mean, they lost to Seattle.
Well, there's going to be... See, you'd be wishing you were in the fantasy final this week because they're going to be handing the ball off to Hill and Bernard fucking nonstop.
I know. That's all it's going to be. I know.
And then play action and go deep to AJ Green.
Yeah, but Dalton broke his thumb, so I was toast anyway.
Is Eifert going to play?
No, Eifert is in the concussion protocol. I don't think clear it by the weekend, so that's going to be pretty huge.
Yeah. So it's going to be screen passes to Bernard, Hill running, and play action AJ Green deep.
I don't even know McCarron can go deep. I might be able to outthrow him.
No, he did against Pittsburgh.
He also threw that fucking softest, laziest ball pick six that I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah. But who calls those plays? Why is a wide receiver screen? Why is he standing on the fucking sideline and you're on the near hash and you throw it to the far side?
Yeah, make it a 30-yard throw for 0 yards progress?
Yeah. That makes no sense. Because as soon as the ball snapped and the receiver stops and takes a step back, what's the DB going to do? It's not like it's a double move from the fucking line of scrimmage. Of course you're going to break on it. So it makes no sense. Those were as stupid as the play calls Houston used to do with Schaub. That's where he got picked off all the time. If you can't make the throw, don't throw it. Don't call the play.
Yeah. I can't argue with that. You pretty much summed that up.
So I'm taking San Francisco again, maybe stupidly. But I'm taking them again.
I don't know why, but I think this is going to be like a game played in snow. It's going to be all Bernard and Hill, primarily Hill.
And one thing I just
Isaiah
thought of...
Crowell, by the way, for Cleveland. And he's not good. No one has the illusion he's good. Just tore up that Niners defense.
Yeah. Then why are we taking the Niners?
I'm, in fact, switching to fucking Cincy.
But who did they beat the week before? Chicago, with Matt Forte.
Chicago's confused. I'm staying with Cincy.
I'm taking San Fran. Rookie quarterback on the road. No tight end help. No. Got to go San Fran. And the one thing is Blaine Gabbert saw Marv Lewis defense a lot in Jacksonville. It's not going to be unfamiliar to him.
Yeah, but it's going to give him nightmares.
Might be a factor. No, he'll be more comfortable against it. I'm hoping. If you're familiar with it, it shouldn't be a big learning curve.
Yeah, but he didn't do
like
well against it. All it was he got his ass beat. And that said, the same defense knows him. They know his many, many, many limitations.
Oh, I'm still sticking with San Francisco. I can't. A rookie quarterback on the road in his first start.
As soon as it said the words Isaiah Crowell, I realized I was going to switch. All right, next game up, we have Denver plus 6.5 at Pittsburgh.
Ooh-wee.
Let's get it out. Do you want to bet it?
No.
Okay.
Why?
Now
Who
it's
are you?
just a debate.
Pittsburgh?
No, Denver. Using basically your argument from last week, you're betting on Denver's defense. If anyone can shut down Pittsburgh, who I think are wholly terrifying, I mean, they could be another wild card to win the Super Bowl. But the O-line has problems. The quarterback is brittle. And
let's say this. They put up 17 points against San Diego, who's 3-10. They put up 12 points against the Raiders, who are 5-8. And don't have near the weapons Pittsburgh has on offense. Their big win was against New England in overtime, which I still don't know how it happened. Well, Gronkowski went out, Edelman was out, Amendola was out, was he not? Weren't they playing with LaFell and some guy?
Gronkowski went out super late in the game. Gronkowski played most of that game.
No, I know, but could they have finished Denver off before they got a chance to get the final drive to tie it? No,
ultimately they won pretty comfortably.
Well, no, they got a touchdown in overtime. What I'm saying is if Gronkowski doesn't get hurt, do they finish off so Denver doesn't get the ball back to tie the game? Is what I'm saying.
Well, that's conjecture.
Well, you just said they won easily and it was in overtime.
Yeah, you're right.
So with all the injuries, they lost Dion Lewis. They lost Gronkowski in the game. Edelman. Did they not get a muffed punt that set up a score in that New England game?
Yes, they did.
So the offense didn't really do fuck all of anything. And Osweiler hasn't done fuck all of anything the last couple of weeks against mediocre defenses. They were just in ball control mode and don't let them fuck us because we can beat these teams with our defense. Well, he's going to have to score against Pittsburgh. That's why I'm against. That's why I'm against Antonio Brown. There's nobody in the league can cover him all game. You're not going to shut him down the whole fucking game.
Yeah, it gets down to pass rush.
And D'Angelo Williams has looked pretty good without, even though Le'Veon Bell has been out. Their running game is still productive. There's that factor too. And Roethlisberger's pretty good at escaping a pass rush when he has to. And if I know anything about Pittsburgh, Heath Miller is going to have a big game. That's how you slow down the pass rush. Heath Miller for 8 yards over the middle all fucking day.
Yeah, you swayed me.
And if they have to double cover Antonio Brown, could Bryant have a fucking big game? Deep? Like, they have a lot of weapons. It's the offense nobody wants to play. So, I know I like Denver's defense, but they have to score points. Denver's defense is going to have to put a touchdown on the board for them to have a shot. Not out of the question, but the way Seattle's defense has been playing the last month, Pittsburgh put 30 up on them.
Pittsburgh have anybody to rush the passer?
Oh, they'll get heat.
Okay. Yeah, you swayed me. I'm going Pitt on that as well. Yeah. Don't want to bet it yet, though.
No. I didn't want to bet it at all, but I just... Osweiler on the road and, like, Oakland. The argument you were making for Oakland to beat Green Bay is what I'm saying for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like, they put up 12 against Oakland. So, yeah, I just can't see them scoring a bunch, not enough to keep up. You're not keeping Pittsburgh off the scoreboard. I don't care how good your defense is. They've been putting up 30 against everybody.
Yep.
So,
except for the
Heath
first
Miller's
Cincy
having a big game.
And Cincy's a good team, but then they put up 38, 30 against Seattle, in Seattle, 45 on Indy, which is no big deal, and dropped 33 on Cincy.
Yep,
all right.
That's what I'm saying. How can you bet against that with Osweiler? He's put up a whopping 29 points in the last 2 weeks combined.
I still
against
won't blame
not very
entirely
good
in
teams.
that Oakland game, but
but against two
but
not
the receivers
really
aren't
good
going to
teams.
stop dropping the ball necessarily.
No.
All right, next game up, we cannot bet, nor would we want to. It is two very shitty teams. Miami is +2 at San Diego.
I don't know. San Diego's defense has played better. Basically shut down. If it wasn't for Denver's defense, that 17-3 win isn't all that impressive for an offense.
Another 10-3 win.
Yeah, because they got a defensive touchdown.
Exactly.
I'm taking San Diego.
So
believe it or not.
Yeah.
Just because they put up 24 on the Giants, I said it before, the Giants play down or up to their competition.
And yeah, San Diego has scored 6 total in the last 2 weeks, but that was against KC and Denver.
Yeah.
Those are really good defenses. Miami is questionable.
Yep.
All right. Next up, we have Arizona -3 at Philadelphia.
If they wouldn't have fucking looked so shitty against fucking Minnesota.
For me, I want to call a moratorium on Philadelphia games. I don't want anything
care.
to do with this.
If this was in Arizona, I'd be all over it.
Yeah, but we thought that with Minnesota, too, even though thankfully it was a Thursday game, because we probably would have laid that 7.
Yeah. But Philly's weird. When you think they're dead, they win. When you think they might do something, they lose. Like Arizona should crush them.
They should, but Arizona can get no rush without a multitude of blitzes, and I distrust that in any team. If you can not at least get marginal heat from your front four with maybe a linebacker, I don't trust you.
Here's the problem when you were going, well, we should bet this game and that game, where you wanted to rule out Jacksonville. Well, we're looking at 11-2 team on the road against a 6-7 team for 3 points. In the day, this would be a no-brainer at 3. This is what I'm talking about with betting this year. Like, how can 11-2 team be only a 3-point favorite? Like, it should be at least what Carolina is against the Giants. The Giants and the Eagles are the same fucking team. Aren't they? 6-7? Inconsistent on offense and defense. If it wasn't for Odell Beckham, the Giants would be 3-10. It's the Philly and the Giants are the same fucking team. So
I don't trust Arizona, period.
And Arizona plays in a little tougher division than the NFC South, just with Seattle being in there.
You meant the East.
No, the South, because Carolina plays in the South.
Oh, yeah.
Carolina's playing shitty teams. They're getting 6 shitty games in that 13 wins.
Niners and the Rams?
But the Rams put up decent games once in a while.
And so do the Niners. So do, unfortunately, that argument only makes a 2-game difference, period.
No, I'm just talking about the spread, though. 11-2 versus 13-0 in the divisions they play in. It should be 5.5. It should be 5 at least for Arizona in this game, is my thing. And we should be betting this game 11-2 versus 6-7 back 5 years ago. This spread would be 7. How is it only 3? That's what scares me in this fucking game. How is it only 3? An 11-2 team and they get 3 points. It screams stay away. For
Agreed
that fact,
on that. Yeah.
Because when is fucking New Orleans last year, when they were fucking 5-10 or whatever they finished, were 7-point favorites at home against teams that had better records. So, is Arizona undervalued, right where they should be? Is Philly overvalued? I don't know. I'm taking Arizona. They should fucking crush this game. If they're true contenders for the Super Bowl and beating Carolina, they should crush this fucking Philly team. And I'm taking Arizona.
Okay, I'm taking Zona too. I wonder a bit about Zona's motivation. They're not going to catch the home field.
We don't. Well, you know what? We may have to put this one as a possible could bet on Sunday. Because do you think if Carolina win or loses, that Arizona doesn't cover that spread?
Okay, I like that.
Because they'll know if Carolina won or not. Because if Carolina wins, it's pretty much over for them.
All right, well, let's just announce that then. We're gonna take Zona if Carolina loses.
Yeah.
All right, done and done. I like that. And the Monday night game, Detroit +3 at New Orleans. I want nothing to do with it, and I am taking New Orleans all the way.
Yeah, me too. on both points.
You've got... I've hit the last couple of New Orleans games. That's part of the reason I've crawled up on you. Should be updated first thing when I get up tomorrow morning.
Okay, I want you to put your PlayStation controller in a block of ice.
That's exactly
and
what has
put
to
it
be
in your
done.
freezer so that you can take it out and let it start melting when you start working
once I
on
start
our
updating it, yes. No, I deserve that, yes. Very much so.
Shit. Yeah, no, Detroit, I don't know. Couldn't beat the Rams, although they played other games tough. It looked like they turned the corner, should have had the Seattle win, blah, blah, blah.
Caldwell is terrible.
Packers,
this is the
but they
best
got
thing that could have happened to Detroit.
But they got fucked in the Packers game, got fucked in the Seahawks game, and then they shit the bed in St. Louis. Don't throw to Calvin Johnson.
Well, he was blanketed.
But,
the Rams have a really good cornerback.
What kind of game planning is
Tremaine?
Let's just say this. When you say Calvin Johnson was blanketed, what type of fucking game plan are you running when Brady can win games with fucking guys, most of his wide receiving core, third string? That comes down to scheme if Calvin Johnson doesn't get fucking open. You're not putting him in a position to get open if you can't get him away from double coverage or run something that gets him free. It's amazing.
Flagrant pick plays like Philly or every other team in the league.
Can you not come out with fucking play design that gets him single coverage? It seems to me other teams get their top guys in single fucking coverage. And if they're doubling him, somebody should be fucking open. Then you adjust your play calling accordingly and use him as a fucking decoy. Somebody's got to be fucking able to get some separation. If you're paying Golden Tate big fucking money, he should be open. And you can say all you want about St. Louis's defense, but they stink. And if you've played these other teams tough, you shouldn't go into fucking St. Louis and fucking stink.
Not when so many worse teams than you have won there. No, I'm with you. I think this is ultimately a good thing for Detroit in the notion that Caldwell will be fired because he is terrible.
Well, he already fired the offensive coordinator, GM, and somebody else in the front office. So, yeah, how is Caldwell keeping his job?
He's got to be gone, and as soon as he was hired, we just said, wow, that's the worst of all the possible candidates out there.
Yeah, we couldn't figure it out, but...
Well, he did 6 good games for Baltimore, which obviously he didn't install his own offense. You don't have the time. Like, you know, I have no idea except that Dungy worships the guy, and
the only reason he got that job was one fucking pass that Denver misplayed.
Oh yeah, you're right.
That fucking 80-yard bomb set up that whole run from their own 20 with under a minute left to get them to overtime.
Yeah, run backwards and heave it as far as you can. Fair enough.
Yeah. And how you don't have 3 guys back at the 4, what the fuck do you think they're going to do? It was like they were playing man with a minute left.
Yeah.
Made no fucking sense in that game. But anyway.
All right. Those are our picks. Let's figure out what we're going to bet.
Okay. Well, we're taking Washington.
Okay, that's our underdog pick.
And we're going to take that on the money line because it's only +1. It's +100. We have Washington to beat Rex Ryan's Bills on the money line. Like I said, +100. $10 pays an even 20. Booked.
All right.
Now it gets tough.
Now we have the Jets -3 at Dallas. We have Jacksonville -3 at home. And we have KC -7 at Baltimore. Let's go with the best team here, KC. I think then.
Yeah. Well,
All right.
I just can't see they've got Mallet that could potentially start there. Who says I was immature in Houston?
Oh, so you've up in the last 3 months.
The 3 months, last 3 weeks. If you can't grow up in New England, you're not growing up in Houston or Baltimore. There's
right.
like Belichick doesn't cut guys that could contribute down the road. Like, what's Vince Wilfork done in the fucking Houston? Has he contributed fuck all?
He clogs up the middle. He's actually hasn't looked terrible when I've watched them. But
So we've got Kansas City -7 in Baltimore. $10 pays $18.69. Books. And now we're between the Jets
and Jacksonville.
And the Falcons.
I like the Jets more. Dallas hasn't put up 20 since in a game without Romo.
Yeah,
not even
no,
20.
You're right. I don't like the price, but yeah. Against the defense, I saw him play against Tennessee, and they'll do the same thing to Castle. He can't throw deep. They'll get heat on him.
It's not like Dallas really has the option to run McFadden huge against the Jets. They stop the run.
Yeah. So we have the Jets -3 at Dallas. $10 pays $18. Booked. Done.
All right, we're with the public this week. We have the Jets -3 at Dallas. 10 pays 18. We have Washington on the money line at home. $10 pays 20 versus Rex Ryan's Bills. And we have KC on the road, hoping they can crack the 20-point margin against Baltimore. $10 pays $18.69.
All right. You can check out our podcast on iTunes or Stitcher for your Android device, on our website, offensivelines.ca. Follow us on Twitter at Offensive Lines for any updates to our blog posts or when a new podcast is available. Facebook.com/Offensive Lines. And if you want to send us an email, it's offensivelines@shaw.ca. I'm Boyd.
I'm Marlon, and those are our picks for Week 15. Rex Ryan is a terrible coach.
Degenerate fucking gambler.